dirty talk. Why do women love it, Sterling? Why don't you start with that, since
Well,
you're an industry expert as a adult film star.
Yeah, this is the biggest sexual organ, Rich. This thing
Meatball between the ears.
right? That people people talk about when they want to get better in the bedroom. They talk about like, oh, where's the G spot? How do I stimulate the clitoris properly? How do I get an orgasm through penetration? And it's like, okay, you can learn all these things, but also understand that this is what kind of drives a lot of it. This is something you can tap into, which is going to really ratchet up and dial up her arousal levels and her emotional experience even before the bedroom or during foreplay or during the act of sex itself.
How much of it is mental game, would you say?
In terms of like the whole act of sex?
Well, setting up to getting to intimacy, like how much mental game is there involved? Is it a lot? Is it a little bit?
I mean, setting up to intimacy, it's a large part of it. I mean, could we talk about like being holding frame, being perceived as high value, right? These are all like what I look at it as like, okay, how can you like adjust her perceptions of reality, and how can you, the guy who can like control her emotions in any way, right? Especially before they've actually had sex, and before, like, this helps you meet up with a girl, for example. Like if you can somehow subtly like manipulate. I don't like using the word manipulate. Manipulation, some people think it's a dirty word. I don't think it's a dirty word. I use the words like manipulation and persuasion.
We can call it influence, right?
Yeah, okay, influence, cool.
Yeah.
If you can influence her emotions prior to meeting up, she's going to want to meet up with you more. It's going to make her more likely to want to meet up with you. And that is what can give you a lot of value in her eyes, because most dudes are boring as hell. I don't want to swear on your channel. I remember your channel's kind of like PJ. So most dudes are way too freaking boring.
Yeah.
Either just chatting in real life or texting, or
they're very basic. They're very basic. Like I find, with a lot of women that they'll often complain about how basic the conversations are that they have with guys. Like they don't know how to stimulate them, before the actual meetup.
It's a little bit of a lack of creativity, a little bit of lack of imagination. And if you can tap into that imagination of hers, if you can tap into like being mysterious, for example, is a fantastic way.
Can you give us an example of like that
little hamster wheel running? Well, it's like one of the things I actually give this as an example. So in this video course I'm dropping, I not only do I talk about like dirty talk, I also talk about a bunch of different stuff you can do verbally prior to meeting up with her, and when you meet up with her on the date, that are more likely to lead you towards sex.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I talk a lot about voice notes and the power of voice notes in this course.
Yes.
One of the things, I give you an exact
verbatim
example.
Voice notes are very powerful.
Well, let's talk about that. So, voice note, especially on Instagram, my personal, the way I play it is like I match on a dating app, and then I get the Instagram and I move to my Instagram, because my Instagram is structured very well. It's structured deliberately to like make a woman go, damn, this guy.
That guy's an interesting man. I want to see what's going on.
She's like, what's he about? Yeah. But when you send a woman a voice note on Instagram, here's what happens. When you look through your Instagram DMs, you can see the first line of text without even opening it, right? When you just scroll through your DM. I mean, you know this because you get a lot of DMs.
Yeah, but if it's just, I haven't seen a voice note. Do me a favor, just grab your phone and send me a quick voice note, just so I can see the difference in my DMs. Because this will be an interesting experiment. Because most of my DMs mention in a story, sent.
I'm sending you the voice note, Rich.
All right, let's see what you got. And there it is. Sterling Cooper sent a voice message, whereas everything else is sent. Mentioned in a story, sent, and text. Sending a voice message is different because you can't read the preview. You actually have to click it and open and listen to it.
Bingo. And that's what I mean by being mysterious. That is a subtle bit of mystery. It's tapping into that curiosity of hers, right? Mm-hmm. She's like, I can read what this guy said. Simpy message. I love you. You're my queen. Blah, blah, blah. voice note. What's this guy said? Click, and here's the even better part. If you're in the message requests section, she has to click it. It says the voice note. She has to accept it to listen to it,
to play it.
So then you're in her inbox. You're no longer in the DM request section. Now you're in her inbox. And then she's listening to the message. She's like, and most guys don't have the balls to send a voice note. They really don't. It's a more of a bold move, right?
Now, some guys might argue, well, Sterling, you have an advantage. You have a charming Australian accent.
That is true.
So what would you say to those guys that have the average run of the mill from LA, Miami, New York, Toronto sort of accent?
Well, first of all, I'd say you're absolutely right. I have a fantastic and very charming voice. Second of all, I'd say that's okay. That is, if you are in a different country or something, even if you're in a different state with a Texan accent in like New York or something, right? Even a slightly different accent can be an advantage. So yeah, it is an advantage. I'm gonna deny that, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't do this, because there's so much more you can convey through voice than you can convey through text. You can convey inflection. I can say, if I could say something in text, and she could completely misinterpret it as me either being too needy or maybe being a bit aggressive or maybe being a bit insulting. But if I send that as a voice note with a cheeky inflection in my voice, she gets that I'm fucking around. She gets that I'm having a joke. Right, and she's like, this guy's got a sense of humor. This guy's kind of cocky. This guy's kind of funny. This guy's got a bit of swagger to him, and you're demonstrating so much more about your personality than you can via text.
And you stand out because she gets loads and loads of texts and DMs, and it's all very vanilla. Like one of the things that I used to do is, you've got to use what you have to your advantage. Like Sterling has a cheeky, interesting Australian accent. For me, I sound like everybody else in Toronto, but what I would do is I'd often make the call in my car while I was driving, and all my cars sound amazing. They don't sound boring or like Priuses. They sound awesome. So I'd make the call while I was driving, give it a little bit of, like while you're going, leave a quick message, with a little bit of an instruction. You can be cheeky, sometimes dirty if it's necessary, but nobody does that. Most people will not do that.
Yep.
But the voice note strategy that you're talking about there on Instagram is quite a bit better because not everybody checks voicemails anymore. People check text messages very quickly, and they check their DMs very quickly. But like you illustrated just there and now, and you guys are going to try this now, just see what it looks like. You can try it out with your friends if you have to. But send a voice note, just see how that pops, see how that stands out.
And you can do it. And you can do it via if you're texting with a girl as well. You can do it like iPhone to text. iPhone to iPhone. You can literally record. I don't think you can do it from iPhone to Samsung, but you can definitely go from iPhone to iPhone with a voice.
I know you can do it on WhatsApp, can't you?
Oh, and you can definitely do it on WhatsApp if you have WhatsApp.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do voice messages on Samsung. I do have a voice message icon on it. It's not unique to Android, so it works on iPhone too.
There you go. But again, it's you just play to your, like, anything you can do to like stand out and play to your strengths is so going to separate you from the rest of the crowd.
You know what? I got to show you guys this video that I uploaded to Twitter earlier. It came off TikTok, but it was this girl that was bragging. Here, let me show it up on the screen. Share.
Oh,
you might have seen this today.
This was on your Twitter feed, wasn't it?
Yeah, you might have seen this today. Let me Chrome tab, share audio, Twitter. Let's see here. Okay, so here she is. And let me just turn up some volume here. Okay, hang on. It's not. Hang on.
Good night, Queen number 79.
I'll get you there. Well, I mean, you got to hear her go off on this because it's just too funny. All right, is this going to play for me? Come on, StreamYard.
How good does my apartment look, by the way? Look at this shit. Look at this shit, guys.
It looks great. It really does look great. Okay, here we go.
I have proof that if he wanted to, he would. I don't even know this guy. This guy has been sending me Goodnight Queen every single night since May. Every single night. Goodnight Queen, Goodnight Queen. I'm really attached to it now. Sometimes if I don't get a Goodnight Queen, it like hurts my feelings. Sometimes I say goodnight back. Sometimes. Goodnight Queen, Goodnight Queen. But this has lasted longer than some of my relationships. I feel like everyone deserves.
This is literally the strategy that a lot of guys use. Like, this is not unique. Like, this is not like an oddball or an outlier. This is a lot more common than what a lot of guys understand, right?
Yeah.
So, being able to stand out from that nonsense as a guy that has a confident, strong, masculine voice, and if you have a great, strong, deep voice, use it, right? I mean, definitely use it. I used to have used to have this girl that called me the radio voice. She just called me on the phone. I'm like, I don't want to talk on the phone. Like, I'm not sitting here on the phone so you can listen to my voice, right? But it's really powerful to use a voice message. Like, that's the point that I'm trying to convey. So what you're talking about absolutely works. I co-sign that.